Hey, welcome to another episode of the Black Guy with Tips podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host,
Karen.
And we're live on a Saturday afternoon, ready to do some podcasting. Find us everywhere you find podcasts. If you're familiar with the show, then you know Saturday is when we do feedback. This is our feedback episode. This is where we talk about what you guys had to say throughout the week. The official weapon of the show is
folding chair.
The unofficial sport is bullet ball and bullet ball extreme. You know, all kinds of stuff to get into. You guys left voicemails, emails, you voted in the polls.
Yay!
You left comments everywhere, YouTube, on our website, you know, all of the stuff that you're supposed to do.
Thank you.
And you also, some of you took the time out and you gave us money. You went to the blackouttips.com and for no reason, just went to the side and said, hey, I would like to donate recurring, one time, don't matter. We give you a shout out for doing that. You can do it through PayPal. If you're on your phone, turn your phone sideways. That way you can see the little margin on the right hand side where you can give money. And we give you a shout out.
May I have your attention? You are now listening to Charlotte's own Rod and Karen. We welcome the good folks who tithe to the Black Guy Who Tips.
Today's a new day.
New Franks, new thanks. We got Michael Irvin, the playmaker, donating to the show. We appreciate you. Waist Bees by Sura. We got a one-time donation for Cassandra R, who says, I've been listening ever since JL said it was his favorite podcast.
Aww.
Wow, JL said that? That's crazy.
About us, what?
Pete Dominic's group has a lot of fans who listen to you guys and love Karen saying, child, LOL. Shout out to Pete Dominic, man. Small world. We got to do a crossover episode one time. I think I was supposed to be on there, but like some schedules got mixed up and it never happened. But you know, we'll see what we can do. I've listened to his show. I've listened when JL's on there, and it seemed like we be aligned on a lot of stuff.
Yes, it would be fun.
Deborah O, recurring donator. Michael F, recurring donator. Thank you. Mary H, Allison H. Here come the H's in the house. Stefan H. Oh, they deep. Corey B. Jeff M. Or it might be Joff M. Jonathan H. Early Daisy Photography. J. Full. Michael W. Marvin B. Yes, Marvin B. Mako H. Nicole F. Asia D. Yes, Asia D. Chriselle B. And lastly, Don G. Thank you, everybody that gave us some money. We appreciate y'all. Y'all looked out for us, and we'll be thinking of y'all when we at the video game arcade spending all these coins.
Yes, playing Crazy Taxi.
All right. I don't think we got any new 5-star reviews, or if we did, it's just one that I didn't get to last time.
Apple
so
dislikes.
it's just one.
Okay, cool.
Karen be knowing 5 stars by Croft at. It says, I just love you both, with that smiley face emoji with the hearts on it. So
oh, thank you. They don't have to be long, y'all.
yeah, and I don't remember reading that, so I'm gonna count it as new. But step your game up. Make sure y'all leave these 5-star reviews just in case.
Yeah, if you love you tell us you love us. Yes. I want a 5-star review.
All right, let's see. Comments on the website. 3101 Beautiful Models of Love and Authenticity was the title of this one, which I believe came from a 5-star review that someone had left us. So let me pull shit. I'm sorry. I just realized on YouTube I must not have uploaded one of the episodes, because I think we did 4 episodes and I only see 3 uploaded. Oh no, I did, right? We only did 3 episodes this week. Okay, all right, cool. All right. Had a panic attack. I was like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah, we took an extra day off. Yeah, we took Monday off. Yeah. I was like, I'm off. I won't be off everything.
Yeah, you right. All right, so we got 10 comments on this episode. Woo! Y'all got something to say. Jinx.
You mess with me, but that's exactly what I was about to say. Yeah, y'all had something to say about what we was talking about. What was we talking about?
Appia left a comment, and then there's replies to her comment.
Okay.
So that's what made it 10, I think. Appia says, I often thought that a special brand of left-leaning people can easily switch to be right-wing. I know people like that. For example, my father-in-law. By my theory, they never really care about the cause. They always care more about themselves and how the movement makes them feel. They enjoy the energy of being angry. They like lecturing people and shocking them with their views. Also, a revolution is something that would they would enjoy no matter what kind, because they don't care about the chaos and the deaths it would create. They don't really care about others. The sacrifices always of other people is something they see as necessary. They think if in this kind of chaos, they would thrive and get an upper hand. I mean, Hitler and Stalin were supposedly on other sides of the political spectrums, but their actions look pretty similar.
Right.
Rona Raphael says, I recall the first time that I looked a little under the headlines at Stalin and was surprised to learn that actions he took looked mighty similar to his so-called opposite Hitler. It would help me down the line to recognize authoritarian or dictators pretty early, no matter what they package themselves in. But talk about one of life's shocking discoveries for me back then, because I was under the impression that socialists equal can do no evil or wrong. Yeah. Appia says, in our German pre-Hitler history, we had two kinds of socialists, the ones that want an evolution and the other ones that want a revolution. The revolution guys didn't like the evolution guys. The SPD, who was also building the current government with the CDU, they found them not extreme enough and did their own thing, and that's what's allowed Hitler to get power. Sounds familiar? I don't trust people who are not revolutionaries. They tend to be very bloody. Oh, I guess who want revolutions. They tend to be very bloody, and when everything is chaos, the common people always suffer.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think it's just interesting because America is, the last time we actually had a revolution was before any of us were alive. You know, we're talking about the Civil War, which I count as a revolution. I mean, that was the South trying to secede from the United States.
Yep.
And, you know, we call it a Civil War because, you know, it's between factions of a country. But at that time, the South was like, we're not part of this country. We're our own country, and we will kill you to own these slaves. But so many people have just not either learned that history, or they've learned a bastardized version of that history, and so we just don't have people that understand the cost of it, no matter how much they look around the rest of the world and judge those countries or whatever, you know, talk about those revolutions and shit. They really just truly think those things can't happen here, and it has happened here, and it will happen again if people continue to move in the way that they are, which is this idea of worshiping the theory of revolution. It's always the theory of it. It's never from somebody that's actually doing any of this shit.
Agreed.
It's always just like you said, someone else go do the work, and I'll sit in here on my computer and tweet about it and act like I'm a revolutionary because I got a viral tweet.
All right. These things are not the same. And also, when it comes to it, people hearing you, like you said, a lot of people think it would never happen to us, and we are so arrogant here that we never look at the things that would cause these things. Like historians and shit would be like, yeah, these are the like it's most of them would say it's a playbook. Like, these things happen when you have people that their basic needs aren't met. People don't have housing. People don't have foods. People's basic needs aren't met. People don't have medical care. When you have a subsection of people that have nothing to lose, that's when these things happen a lot of times. And people take their anger and use it to weaponize, you know, to start a lot of these things for quote unquote both sides. And what people fail to realize is that, like you say, it's a fiction to them. It's something that these things happen in other countries. It doesn't happen here. But in reality, people die, people lose their lives, you know, things are never the same, and you have to go through decades of rebuilding, you know, society and things like that. But, you know, over here, we'll just go, we dismiss that, like these things can't happen. You posting on your computer is not the same as you literally picking up arms for the cause. You know, we think doing a post is the same thing as dying for the cause, and it's not. These are not the same things. You picking up a gun or a knife, or you killing you killing a family member, or whatever, because they wasn't on the right side. Whatever these things, these things, most Americans cannot fathom that, so they just make this fantasy of what they think it will be, and what they think it will be is them living the same lives that they're living now. But that's not true. You will be directly impacted by these quote unquote revolution shit that you quote unquote claim that you want. When people said it, I was like, oh, you don't know what you're really asking for. Because if you really knew what you was asking for, you was like, the last thing I want for y'all to do is to fucking get out there and fight.
Yep. And like I said, it's just, they never will cop to this, but it's very much a y'all do it, it's like it reminds me of that tweet that time that was so funny when they were burning some shit in one of these cities. I think it might have been St. Louis, but somebody had tweeted like, yeah, burn it all down, fuck these, fuck the establishment, blah blah. And then literally that same guy, the people that were marching got on his street, and then he was like, where are the police? They're coming past the gates. What is this? And I'm like, right, it's all theory, because it's supposed to be happening over there, not up the block, not your house.
Right. And that's when people's attitude changes. Like, go to war, not my child. Go to war, not me. Get out there and revolutionize and fight. But no, I'm not gonna do it. Well, then be quiet then. Like, and that's my thing. To me, I'll always say this: it's easier to cast a vote than have a fucking revolution.
Yeah. Ron Raphael said, in this day of the internet, I no longer take people seriously who throw that word revolution around. I got back pretty bad pre-2016 elections and was sounding a lot like them Bernie bros. I did appear in The Guardian with a group of NYC-based military veterans on that Kool-Aid endorsing Bernie. I was more alert to the overseas game pushed by the Russian internet farms that I never paused to wonder why all of a sudden everyone around me in NYC was talking. He meant to respond to Appia like this. Dang, I thought I typed this in response to Appia's comment. Messed up the whole flow. The Paravai Karan says, don't type just before falling asleep. Oh my God, Rod gonna fry me. I might as well start frying myself. CC, the Knicks winning in 5. Shoe Booty says, Bernie does fine representing his constituents on the level he is at, but he has not embraced the community in a larger sense that would have him be successful on a presidential level. You can't just gloss over black problems as if they're not American problems. Show up for the people will show up for you. It will sound ageist to be sit down grandpa, you too old for this game, but at what point will the olds have enough hubris and put that ego aside to start thinking ahead for their succession, for the party, the future of the party and the country? I think Bernie's so interesting in that it's like, to support him, you almost have to in some way engage in some level of like issue blindness, I guess is what I would call it, because if you support him and you're like, he should be the president, that's obviously what we should do, everyone is crazy, you are probably also a person that thinks all these dudes are too old except Bernie. If you're a person that is like, listen, I'm very progressive and I care about black issues and women's issues and all the immigration issues and stuff, Bernie's not great on those issues, and you kind of have to like look away from that to support him. But those will be the same people who will point those issues towards mainstream Democrats and act like they're not good enough on them. So like, there's a level of like, when it's Bernie, we just not gonna talk about that. And I think that has always irked me about him from literally the day I heard of him. And I have never found him to be a serious politician, in that I think if you seriously want to run for president as Bernie Sanders, I absolutely think he could do it, and I think he could win. I think he's making a very cynical choice to appeal to a certain type of white person who will absolutely be like, yes, it's this simple and I'm angry, thank you, Bernie. But there's something about him where he thinks anything that isn't basically completely just in that one lane is distracting and is causing those white people to be uncomfortable, and they will leave. I think he doesn't believe in his own voters. I don't think it's a my fault thing. I think it's a his fault thing, in that if he truly believed that these angry white middle Americans that he keeps talking about, we need to like save and we need to like court and we need to get their votes out. If he truly believed in those people, I just don't see why he couldn't also bring in other issues and be like, hey, if y'all believe in my economic message, why wouldn't you also believe in my message about racism or my message about abortion or my message about, instead he goes yada, 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 because I think he kind of knows there's a certain type of white person in this country who hears that shit and they don't like it. They go, no. Just go back to the billionaires and the rich people, and no one has it worse than me. So don't say the black people have it even worse than I got it. No. Then I'm not as then I might as well just vote for Trump.
Yeah, I'm not as special.
So I think it's been a long time with him being a politician, and
he's
the same way that people get mad at career politicians in other lanes, they don't get mad at Bernie for being a career lifelong politician.
Right.
He just gets a lot of passes in ways that befuddle me, and because to me those other politicians I named, they all have to get tested and they all have to take the knocks that come with it, right? So like, regardless of how great I think Kamala Harris was and ran her campaign and how good a job she did, there's some knocks she just got to take. It's just nothing she can do about it. Like she says something about Palestine and it's not good enough to people, period. Bernie Sanders says the same shit. It just does not come up. It just literally is not a fucking issue. Everybody's like, nah. And I at this point, I'm left with no choice but to believe that low key, he don't really want to be president. And he's just look,
I don't think he does either.
I like the popularity of saying what I say and putting that pressure on the country, but to do the work to be a president, I'm not really down with that. He should be in South Carolina today if he really wants to be president in 3 years. Like,
agreed.
You should be working with black voters now, not later. You shouldn't be doing rallies in these like middle of America white towns. You should be going to black places too, and being like, because next time it's time for the primary, and I'm depending on black people in the South to help me. I need to have done some things in their communities and reach to them and let them know that I'm here for them. And he doesn't. And it would be one thing if I was saying this for the first time ever.
He's done this
I've been
multiple
saying
times.
this for, let's see, so at least 2016, almost 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I just don't think he want to be president. Not for real.
No, not for real. A lot of people do that where they don't want the responsibility, quote unquote, but they kind of want to be there just so they could say I've called something or I've made a move or what the things I said are changing, but they don't really want to do the work because the candidates that actually do the work always beat him. Just period. They just beat him. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things, instead of him, like you said, graciously be like, hey, I lost, or I didn't do everything I could do, it's always blaming something or someone or somebody else versus the flaw that you have in your campaign. It's a flaw in your campaign because you've been running too long for it not to be a flaw in your campaign.
Yeah, so like I said, if it's not, honestly, is it a flaw though?
No, it's a bug. It's a feature.
Yeah.
It's a feature. But the way he complains, it's like, hey, dog, if you're gonna be complaining like this, there's something in your campaign that's causing this problem.
Yeah, like I said, it's whatever. Like to me at this point, if I was a fan of his, I would be more angry at him for not doing what he need to do than the rest of the country. But that's not how his fans work. They're gonna be mad at the rest of us. Like, why don't y'all just get in line and vote for him, as opposed to being like, Bernie, my guy, it's been 10 years. Why aren't you doing things on the ground to get that inroads into this black community where even if you just split the vote, you will win? Like, you don't even have to go down to South Carolina and win all the voters. You just need to convince a large enough chunk to come with you, because you're going to get the angry white vote every time. So you got the white people. So just get enough of the black people. Just say enough of something. I'm not saying you got to go down there and be like reparations for everybody, but just something. But anyway, Shoe Booty says, I'm late to the game, but I wonder if people have cut down on drinking alcohol now that it has been classified as a carcinogen. Previously, we, or at least I, knew the risk of alcohol in the traditional sense, risk of addiction, liver issues when used to excess, judgment impairment. If people don't smoke because it can cause cancer, are people making the same choice with alcohol? I don't drink enough for it to have to be that to be a factor in curbing my drinking, but others might be making alcohol-related health decisions.
you have a percentage, but for the study, but this is just me talking for the studies, things like that. I think a lot of it is the time you was raised in, because a lot of older generation was raised on Dare. I know for some people it didn't make a difference, but a lot of older generations raised on Dare, and the weed wasn't as prevalent as it is now. So for a lot of people, their quote unquote choice of it just was alcohol. And for a lot of people, particularly a lot of white people, a lot of them drink very, very early and very young. And so it's kind of a social drink. This is what the things you do and things like that. So alcohol is something that's more quote unquote built in now, with states passing laws, that weed is more people can get their hands on it more. And I know it's always an exception to the rules, y'all, but for the average person, the younger generation has been raised up where they have more access to it. It's easier to get to. So it's almost like a shifting has shifted over a little bit. And so people can know these things, but for a lot of people, for the average person, particularly when you're young, you don't care about it causing all of these things. I do think that people being more educated makes a difference, but no matter how much you educate people, you're going to have people that's going to be like, okay, give me cancer, I don't care. Okay, my liver's going to be bad, I don't care.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's my guess is that I don't think it's because it was classified as honestly, I'm in the know and had not heard that. You know what I'm saying? And maybe that's, maybe young people have heard that, but I think it was a lot of the stuff we said, the economy, people socializing less after COVID and remote work and a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, I don't, who knows, man? I'm sure it is part of a factor, but until they put like a warning on the bottle, like the Surgeon General did with cigarettes, right. I just can't see that. And because I don't even see we don't even have the equivalent of those truth ads, the ones that tell you not to smoke cigarettes. We don't even have that for alcohol.
No, we don't.
Everything is pretty much just, you can drink alcohol if you're an adult. The only commercials you see about alcohol on TV are the beer commercials, and every once in a while like a don't drive drunk commercial, but there is no, hey, did you know alcohol can give you cancer commercial, that warning to everyone.
Nope, the beer industry, those people would sue like crazy.
Yeah, but the cigarette industry would too. It's just we don't have the government and the society has not decided that we are done with beer.
Agreed, because it's the one that's quote unquote socially acceptable for, because like I said, you have generations where
cigarettes were too. It's just, I don't know. It's like maybe enough bad shit hasn't happened. I truly don't know why, because cigarettes were not just socially acceptable, they was lying. They was like, it'll make you,
they was.
The doctor said smoke a cigarette a day for your baby. Marlboro babies, they love it.
You can literally smoke everywhere, and that's true. I don't know what the alcohol industry did to cause that difference, but they should be treated the same.
Well, we had prohibition in this country. Remember?
Yes.
Like, we never had that with cigarettes. We had prohibition. Motherfuckers was going to jail for selling alcohol. Speakeasy started. Bootlegging started. I don't know why. Like, it's got a hold on people, and people don't seem to give a fuck. So I just don't think it's cancer. Like, I think when you take a sip of alcohol, you're like, this giving me a little cancer. Like, I just feel, you can feel it. Like, this, I know I'm making a cancerous decision with this shit.
Yeah, and also, this is just me on the outside looking in. I think for a lot of people, they go, my lungs, them important. My liver, not so. Not as much.
Yeah, I guess. Maybe. Let's see. Sean says Bernie is a gadfly. In that role, he is valuable. Having him in charge never made sense, especially since he was blind on many issues. He's gotten better in the last couple of years, but he's still not a leader. Evie says Bernie is an old, bitter bigot. Damn. At this point, he's so focused on trying to convert maggots that he's totally lost the plot. He's alienating the people who would actually grow the base, but him and the edgelords like David Hogg only value this white cis male vote, and this is why the Democrats will keep losing. I won't say I'm actively wishing for Bernie to drop dead like I am a certain orange doofus, but if he dies, I won't be upset. Yeah, I think it's so interesting because that was what I was very concerned about if Kamala Harris lost, and I feel like we're living in this reality where everyone keeps being mad at each other. And I mean, okay, in this case, I'm actually talking about the politicians, Democratic politicians, not the people.
Right.
The people may mirror this, but specifically for this point, understand I'm talking about people running for office and holding office, okay? Everyone's mad at the other type of Democrat, but if you look at their plans, all of them have the same plan, which is to go out and convert the white people, and mostly white men, and some people get more specific, like white young men who voted for Trump. They're all making pivots to say, what if where our mistake was is we cared too much about people who weren't white men. And if we would just go and talk more about white men and how hard life is for them, they will come back to the party. And I think that's a mistake. I don't think it will happen. And I think that's why I was so scared about her losing, is not for just this part, but for the plans that would come out of the feeling of desperation of losing, even though it was close. The plans that would come out of there were going to be like, throw these brown people, these lesbians, gay, bi, trans people, throw these women and their abortions, throw everyone the fuck out. Like, you'll vote for us because you don't have a choice. Like, we were not going to get the progressive utopian politicians that everyone thought. They were not going to move out the way and suddenly whoever was the most leftist in the party was going to be at the head of the table. And we've gotten what I consider to be a more conservative, fearful Democratic Party, not a more bold progressive one. And the sad part is that a lot of these politicians have deluded themselves into thinking, or maybe they're trying to trick us, but they're acting like they are being bold and progressive, and they're being like, we gotta stop talking about what's going on in our bathroom and get back to what's going on at the kitchen table. And it's like, wait a minute, what does that mean? Oh, we need to stop talking about, like, you know, sex, gender, race, that kind of stuff, and immigration. We need to talk about, like, what white people want to talk about, and we need to make them feel good when we talk about it, which they'll never be able to do compared to Trump.
Agreed, because it's a different type of drug. And also, we said this, that the lesson that's going to be learned is that them other issues don't matter. That's how, like you said, that's how we lost. And it's going to be really, really interesting when it comes time for, like, you know, the presidency, when people start running for president and all that stuff, particularly on the Democratic side. I predict this is going to be the most white, milquetoast, male-dominated field that we've ever seen in our life. You're not going to have any diversity. You're barely going to have any women, and any women that you have are going to get put out really, really quick. Mm-hmm. Their message is going to be very bland. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because the thing is, Trump has a type of a drug that we can't compete with. So I don't know why we're trying to get that. It's like, if I do heroin, you can't give me no off-brand heroin and expect me to get the same hit. It's not happening. We're like, let's match this drug. And it's like, you can't match that drug. You're going to have to get it with something else, y'all. Yeah, like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, and I wonder, because we are far enough away from the next election cycle that something could happen that makes it not that way. But I feel like if they had to run it back the next day, it would be Gavin Newsom, maybe Pete Buttigieg, who is gay, and I don't think they would ultimately throw him to the wolves as well.
Yes, they would.
But it would end up, like you said, maybe Gretchen Whitmer or whatever. But I truly don't think so, because she's a woman.
Right.
So I'm with you. It would be like, we just need to sneak a white man in here.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Not to get off topic. It's my thing is that black people in the South, in South Carolina, and I will forever stand on this. When people try to act like when the people down south voted for Joe Biden and we didn't know what the fuck we was talking about. Yeah. He's an old white man, y'all. And guess what? At the end of the day, that's what they want and want it. And, because they voted against anything else other than a white man. And the next election is going to be a white man. Like I might be wrong, but I guarantee you, for the Democratic Party, whoever it is, it's going to be a white man.
Okay. All I'm saying is we are 3 years away from that. So I don't know. But, I don't think any logic you said is wrong. I'll just like
you say,
I just know something could happen, and I don't, I think if Trump fucks this shit up that bad, you may get a situation where whatever the alternative is, people are like, I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Fine.
That's true.
But we are a long way away, and it has only been 4 months of the Trump administration.
It feels like 10 years.
Right, and that's why I'm saying, like, the consequences of his actions haven't even necessarily gotten as bad as they're going to get.
Nope.
So do I think because I remember with Barack Obama, it was like they'll never elect a black person, and then Bush fucked up that bad.
Yes, he did.
And John McCain said he wouldn't save the auto industry, and suddenly maybe this black guy can win. So that's what I'm saying is, like, I don't want to just throw it away. Like, no, it's going to be a white man. Maybe. If everything keeps going like this, it will. Yeah. But if shit gets fucked up, we could be 3 years away from people being like, obviously it's Kamala Harris or some shit, and we'll be like, oh, okay, we'll be back in the same situation. Anyway, the comments on YouTube. 3 heart emojis from Inez, who says, peace out, it's 4:22 a.m. Okay, thank you for letting us know the date and the time. Joseph says, people also don't ask themselves, how old is this person? They could be arguing with a literal child. That's facts. They be on the internet just fighting. Mm-hmm. Show me the hustle. Smile emoji says CHM818. The poll was, how do you feel about seeing it? You love to see it or you hate to see it?
I love to see it.
77% of the audience loves to see it, Karen.
Whatever it is.
23% of the audience, they hate to see it. You hate to see it, and I hear you. Sometimes you do hate to see it. Let's go to a break and come right back, everybody. Maybe Rod needs some Rod Change His Mind music.
Psycho.
Music. We might need that. 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 We might need that.
Rod Change His Mind. 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 You might need to make a note every single time that my mind is changing. Rod changes my day. We might 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 rod changes my day. We're back. Oh man, I don't really have many times to play that music because my mind is normally pretty thorough on the way.
Don't get changed too often.
All right. Let's see, episode 3102, the Lohanaissance. Ronan Raphael says, this banter section had me saying yes, and then yes, and then yes. But first, it's the artist formerly known as Parava Karan. Karen was on point about that tampons machine. I've written that down for when next I get to chat with my councilwoman. Gonna get my district in the future.
Wonderful.
Thank you, Rod, for bringing up the Diddy reporting headline. I thought that I was tripping seeing those headlines and wondering what the fuck. Then I'll get my AP briefing, Daily Yahoo News, etc., and it's different. So I have only been sticking to legitimate reporting, including the blackout tips. I guess that's very nice of you to put us in that group, but you don't have to. Mm-mm. But yeah, nah, man. And I will say, since I said that, I have noticed a little bit more. Like sometimes the email I get from like some of these hip hop sites will have some of the like and maybe it's just because they can't avoid it, but like the testimony is so damning, they'll be like, this woman said like she was sexually assaulted.
They have to say it, right?
But even then, like, it's crazy because like one of the women, I think I read it on the show, so I don't need to repeat, but just one of the women used to work for him. Oh no, I couldn't I think this happened after we did the show. Anyway, this woman's name was Mia. She was his assistant, and she was sexually assaulted by him.
Oh.
And the headline was saying this random shit that was in the testimony that wasn't about how he sexually assaulted her. And it was just like, oh, she said she used to get planes for Diddy. I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Like, you don't tell me that. Don't tell me, oh, look, you won't believe what 50 Cent wore to the game, as if it's just a fucking joke. Anyway, no time to get into the polls, but I voted yes. I'll share one day how it was by folks I considered friends, the best podcast in the world. And the poll was, have you ever been harassed online? Let's see. Then we got Appia, who says, period talk. I realized that I can work with the Diva Cup and never have to buy anything else. I love it. And also that it doesn't produce trash. Try it. Okay, only if you have the body devices it was made for. Michael says, I could not do the Diva Cup. It was way too hands-on for me. I like tampons, so I could like plug it and forget it. That said, I had period dysphoria and got gender-affirming hysterectomy, so take that as you will. About the dispensers, Karen is absolutely right. My university had an initiative to make period products in those dispensers be free across campus. I think that should be normal in more places.
Yes.
And would make it so there was no need to have to tap to pay or have to have bags of quarters.
Right.
But it's probably too idealistic to expect free period products will become available everywhere. It's weird because like condoms be free in a lot of places.
Yes, they do.
But you know what else is funny though? Anytime you start talking about period tracking and shit, you gotta worry like, is somebody gonna sell your information? You tap to pay at the period machine, and then those motherfuckers sell the information about when you be on your cycle. It's fucking scary right now in America, dog. You can't think of nothing that's not fucked up.
And the thing is, just because I tap it don't mean it's for my period.
Don't matter though.
Right.
Like they be selling information. Like people are scared to get the period tracking apps because they think those people will sell their information and they're worried the government's gonna get a hold of it. It's fucking crazy. Why do we let these people be in charge?
Right.
Apple says it was some learning involved at first to be able to work with it. Nothing is for everyone, but I think I'm not so special or talented in application of stuff. It's worth a try, a longer try, because knowing that you just have to clean it and you're good for the next time is great. I have 2 of them for 8 years. 8, it's insane. EVE says, I really appreciate what the guys from Grits and Eggs said, but I've been let down so many times on these podcast guys who seemingly say the right thing only to turn out to be trash like the rest of the Red Pill Brigade. Remember that dude Derek Jackson who was so woman positive in all his videos but was cheating on his wife? That dude was such a dirtbag. I hope the Grits and Eggs guys are sincere, but I won't be surprised if something comes out on them. I mean, it's funny because it's kind of confirming the message he was saying, which is this idea of lack of trust of black men from people not living up to the reputation, the expectations. I also just think it's, I'll put it this way. It's like basketball, right? NBA teams. I think about this a lot because I like sports. But teams often use the fact that analysts in the media and fans in the world did not believe in their team as like a grievance that makes them more motivated to want to go win, right? And they'll be like, Stephen A didn't even pick us. You know, Charles Barkley said we couldn't do this. Well, we did it. Nobody believed in us, right? I think if I was a basketball player, I 100% would never bring that up, and I would never give a fuck about it, because at the end of the day, nobody's belief comes with me on the 95 feet that is that basketball court.
Agreed.
Stephen A. Smith believing in me or not believing in me cannot make me hit a jumper. Charles Barkley thinking I should have played harder or less or more, 100% nothing to do with my free throws. I control that. And I say this as a cishet man in this space where, you know, you listen to the podcast. We've talked about these things in the past. We talk about them in the future. I'm sure we talk about them in the present. But I've never got on here and been like, I just need these women to believe in me. That's going. So hopefully your reticence to believe or not believe, or to trust or not trust, has zero bearing on what that guy does if he's sincere. So you like don't need to feel bad about it. No need. I mean, you can write to him if you want to, but I mean, it's just, I totally get it. We all have similar feelings. As a black man, I have those feelings when I look at like white people who are supposed to be allies and shit, and you just hope that they're, you know, they have their own experiences and lives and stuff, but you kind of hope that they'll be closer to the right side of things you believe than not. You know, you don't want to tune in one day and they're like, actually, man, this Black Lives Matter thing is very confusing and I don't like it. It's like, fuck.
All right.
You know, because they could have been saying a bunch of stuff you agree with every day until then, and then they say that and you're just like, oh no, like, what? I didn't know you were going to be a person like this. So I get it. You're trying to guard your heart and all that stuff, and being let down so many times is interesting. But I guess the last thing I'll say is this too. I think there's a huge difference between like guys who pander and people that just speak from a place of empathy.
Yes, they're not the same.
I think we felt it, we've seen it, and I think it almost always comes out in the wash. It's one of the reasons when I do this show, I swear to God, I do not attempt to like, I'm gonna win these ladies over. I want the gay people listening to know that. I don't even think like that. I think about what I think is fair in life.
Right.
And I hope that most people can relate to it because I'm being fair. Like, not because I'm like, oh man, I'm not looking at the percentage numbers going, we got to get the women numbers up. We got to get them. It's just, this is fair. And I think most people who are fair-minded can at least appreciate the thoughtfulness and consideration that we approach what we do with. And I think most people will realize you can't ask for more than that. And so there are certain people that I know, they listen to it with a certain point of view, and look, they walk in, they see me here with Karen, and their arms already folded at me. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is.
Yeah, and you can tell, yes.
Yeah, like, you can't acquit yourself of that. And they and their arms can always, their arms is like this now. They might not always be like this, but they like, hey, he got one thing to
one thing to say. And then off to the ether.
That last joke, was he really joking? And
right.
So I just think you have to learn to live with it, and hopefully he's learned to live with that. And he's kind of new to podcasting in what I've seen, and this level of notoriety too. And a big thing that happens in these situations with a lot of dudes is first you get all pumped up on the like hero juice of all these black women and stuff thanking you and celebrating you and sharing your content and the views and attention you're getting. That's the first step. And then secondly, you start pushing back against all these men who are attacking you, these trolls and hoteps. And there are going to be some sincere men who absolutely just disagree with him or don't understand his point, because I've had that happen to me before. And it's hard to parse. When you're in the middle of it, it's hard to tell friend from foe, because you got people that's going to be doxing you, talking crazy to you, shitting on you and your wife and all this shit. And then you got people that's just like, well, I don't think I understand. And it's hard not to be like, fuck all y'all.
Yep, they all look the same.
Right. And then it's hard in the content era to stop yourself from going down a path of this is where the attention is, and get back to just, hey, my message wasn't to have a podcast that just is about confronting black men about being better. Maybe that is, but I've listened to the show before. It's not just that.
It's not. And
so it's going to be difficult for him, I think, unless he's just very, very grounded, in a world where the attention and the attacks are going to come about this particular topic in general. It's going to be difficult to stop yourself from turning into only this or mostly this, or a reaction of retaliating to people attacking you. So, good luck to that dude. Seemed like he on the right path, seemed like a good dude to me. And if nothing else, I think it says a lot that people can't even just let that man be with his opinion in a world where we are letting the worst people be. We are letting
just exist.
Some egregious people be. We are letting people get on a podcast mic and act like Tory Lanez versus Megan Thee Stallion is a 50-50 everybody lying job thing. We're just allowing that. We're allowing people to say stuff like Cassie probably liked all that shit. Like, so a guy who comes in and says, actually, you guys, that's not good, is not, to me, the villain people want him to be.
Agreed.
If anything, he's just adding balance to a very imbalanced economy of content that is extremely misogynistic and extremely, one way or the other. And if he continues to exist long enough in a space where he's in public, I'm going to just rip the Band-Aid off. He'll let you down. Same way I'll let you down. Same way Karen will let you down. Your favorite podcast, whoever they are, if they just giving their opinion on shit,
they will let you
down. They're going to let you down because they're going to have an opinion that isn't the one you have.
Right.
That's it. It's not even like rocket science. You might look back at it and be like, damn, that really wasn't that big a deal. But they're going to, quote unquote, let you down because we all are giving opinions, and if you had a show and you gave your opinion every week and every day, there's some people listening to you that will be like, not today. I'm sure even with you just leaving a comment, I guarantee you they ain't wrote in, hopefully, but there's somebody listening that's like, EVE let me down this week. So honestly, like, you just got to live with that, and hopefully he learns to live with that. And I hope he's not a full of shit, fake ass dude that's like, Derek Jackson or something, or
right.
Well, I hope it's not just all a grift, but you never know. Time will tell.
Yeah, that was I was about to say. That's my biggest thing. Well, a lot of these things, time will tell. If somebody's placating and not sincere and all that shit, time will tell, and they will be consistent in their message. Like if it's something that is true to them and within the foundation of their being and who they are, the message will stay consistent.
Yeah, and some people want to be pandered to, so that's definitely a lane for folks. And if they want to be fooled and they want to ignore obvious red flags and shit, they can do that. But I don't know, man. I just don't see the value in it. And maybe it's because I don't want to do the extra work of giving y'all fake opinions that I have to remember.
Right.
So, some people really are fake and will do that shit, but not me, man.
I don't got time to remember no made up bullshit.
Right. If I said it, I meant that shit the way I said
right.
it. And if you catch me in the streets, I mean
tell you the same story.
Yeah. Like, I don't got, I just don't even see the point of doing all that shit.
A lot of energy.
Yeah, like I gotta remember that I said it's okay for women to cheat, but not men. Like that's just dumb, But also you have to find yourself, because I think there was a lot of pressure from social media and the internet that I used to really be privy to, and it would make me feel like, oh, maybe I shouldn't give this opinion because it's not popular, even if I think it's the right opinion. And,
right.
And that was just an internal thing where I had to get over that and be like, man, real people recognize real, and they know the difference between somebody being like transphobic and somebody being like, hey, I don't think it's okay that a trans person murders somebody. You know what I mean? Like and so like that was more of an internet invention, the idea of like there's no accountability for people if they're in your marginalized group that you're rooting for, like a basketball team. It's like, no, I don't believe in that.
Me either.
Anyway, back to this. Clout is one of the worst addictions out here right now. Oh, I think a lot of people are trying to dunk on others online because clout is a hell of a drug. Clout is one of the worst addictions out right now because people don't care how they get clicks and views. They say anything that they think will make them popular without actually knowing what they're talking about and that's how we got dumped in the White House.
What they're talking about, how it impacts people, how it affects people, and actually how it slowly chips at their own soul. But that's a whole completely different topic, particularly when you're not being sincere and truthful to who you are. That's something that cannot last.
Yes. YouTube. Coqui Negra says, well, I never sleep, so it's nice to find you here, because we did this one late night. My mom said, great nuanced conversation about Grits and Eggs podcast. EMK says, agreed. I think the blogs are, relatedly, I think the blogs are paid to support Diddy and the bots too. Same for the gender wars. This guy is not paid by some dark money influencer. He seems to be just doing it, making sense on his own. Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, dog. Like, I'm not a conspiratorial person. I don't think I'm prone to believing things without a lot of coincidences or evidence or something. But I swear to God, right-wing people are paying these black blogs.
It would not be shocking or surprising if somebody did some form of investigation.
And it's scary because I see people start to take on the stuff they hear from places that are not reliable news sources.
Right.
People are quoting stuff like the Shade Room and Trump checks. You know what I'm saying? Like that's and I was reading a book about cultural appropriation. And in this book, she had a chapter where she kind of, I would say, went up for the Shade Room. And I don't think she was being like unfair towards them, but she was not as critical as I would be about the Shade Room. I may not have even included them in the chapter, and that's probably not fair to them because they have created a space on the internet and influenced the culture in many ways and become vulturized by white people who try to do the same thing. So it's right to be in the book. It's about cultural appropriation. But I'm so critical of them because that is a place of misinformation that don't care about us as black people and just wants the clicks and the clout and the money and the attention. And at the end of the day, they'll throw Zara Wade picture up there knowing the transphobia that is going to transpire in on their page. It's just an alley-oop to say, come pick on this young black trans kid. They'll throw up the Trump check misinformation. And they don't care if you correct it. They'll do it again next month. And there's something fucked up about that. There's a blog that I see all the time, and sometimes I get my stories from there. And I started copying and pasting their headlines to be like, oh, wait, did this really happen? Let me just Google it to see if a reputable news source published it. Karen, the sites it was taking me to that matched the headline were like right-wing, like the New York Post, the Daily News, like whatever those ones are. And I was like, shit, y'all are just getting paid or funneling content directly from here.
Yeah, and it, because I might be wrong, open up a third eye on this one. Human beings are lazy. And a lot of people actually depend on AI a lot more than they should.
Well, hold on. Because I'm not saying it's just laziness or like coincidence. I'm saying it was always that right-wing source, which makes me go, where are you getting your money from? Who are you? Just a black face on the New York Post.
Okay, I'm with you. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? I can see if I was looking and I was like, oh, sometimes it'd be from here, sometimes from the AP.
Right.
No,
AI
it's
be a little
from,
bit everywhere. Yes.
It's from right-wing sources.
Okay. Yeah.
And it leads right back to your blog and then them.
Yeah, you might think like, are you in cahoots or are you a white person with blackface online?
Yeah.
Because nobody knows like physically what you look like.
And the economy of what's happening in behind these websites, the way that works, there's no transparency.
Right.
So I just know it's a black facing site for a black audience. But if 75% of the audience come from a right wing source,
right,
I have to wonder what would be the reason for that.
Agreed. Yeah.
Because that's on purpose at some point.
Yes, it is. I'm with you. Yes. It's on purpose. It's like, it's not like you're mining for things just to get hits. It's like, no, I'm strategically
picking
using
a handful of these stories
from these.
And now
these sites.
And now when black people click on this, they're going, oh, it's the news. It's what's happening in my community. And instead it's like, yeah, but it's the news, but it's also, this is pro-Trump. This is a MAGA way of looking at this. This is a conservative point of view.
Yes. And that's, if you're not aware, they will slowly move you over to where that shit is normalized, and before you know it, you will sound like them, but you be like, but I'm not them. It's like, well, bitch, the message is the same. I care about the message, and it sounds identical to me.
I know so many black people that get their news from, and I put news in quotes, memes.
Memes?
Yeah.
That's not a news source.
All the time. When I'm on Karen Hunter's show, sometimes, not every listener, but every once in a while a listener will call in, and because Karen's so diligent about making sure people get the correct information,
right,
she'll ask the follow-up, and she's obviously a journalist and all that. She'll ask the follow-up questions where it's like immediately evident, like, this motherfucker just looked at a meme. Like, you just saw a picture on Facebook that said, something like, Kamala Harris forcing boys to put tampons in their butts, and then you called up this show to be like, I can't believe the Democrats are doing that, and you're like, that's not happening. And where did you get that from? Well, that's what I've been seeing. That's what they saying. Right.
Who is they? Right. Where did you get this source from?
And you know what the source is in their mind? Blackblog.com.
Yeah.
But blackwebsite.com, blackfacebookgroup.com. Yep. Where's Black Facebook Group getting their information from?
Right, and
once you stop there, why?
Agreed. Why?
Why is Black Blog publishing something that's obviously fake? Why is Black Blog, the Facebook group, putting pictures of Zara Wade up so that people can be transphobic? Why are they doing that?
Right.
What are they trying to get this group of black people to start spreading and influencing and adopting? Because once you take that first step into like, that's a boy, and you need to y'all chop this dick off. Once you get there,
to keep pushing.
it's so close to Trump got a point to just we might as well not vote, or I'm voting for Trump. Like, it's so close.
Yep.
Right.
And so many people missed that message.
Let's see. Oh yeah. All right. So YouTube. Okay. D man says, Karen, when you said the floss people, I hollered. So I've read that the reason Glide, Floss, and others feel more like plastics is because they removed the PTFE from the formula. PTFE, designated as a forever chemical, has come under scrutiny recently because of its ability to stay within the body and the environment for long periods of time. I noticed it also ended up switching to more natural versions of floss. We can't have nothing.
Cause Chad, I was like, who want this goddamn plastic bag? And on top of that, it's not strong. And I don't know if I'm hard with my hands or hard on my teeth, but them shits was popping. I was like, I want to. I'm going through triple the floss because the shit breaking.
And Rod, your segue into the Blackberry Molasses song analysis after had been talking about floss for the past 5 minutes was hilarious. It was so random, but so accurate, because why were those kids singing about that? Side note, Bobby Valentino is one of the singers from Mr.
Oh, Bobby Valentino.
Yeah, I heard he's problematic. It's from what I keep hearing.
Oh, I don't keep.
I don't know
like
enough. I'm sure someone knows the story.
Mm-hmm.
Inbell says electronic payment for the tampon machine is genius. Karen, just go ahead and run for office. Inez says 6 heart emojis. Dark Namja just says 2 winky face emojis. A Gray Bay says, Karen, I feel you on the seats. My friend and I went to see Sinners in Dallas on the 70mm screen, and the seats didn't move, and we had tickets way at the bottom. It was so uncomfortable.
Yes, because at least you want to be able to lean back.
Jason says the AMC movie theater discussion was hilarious. As we get older and these movies get longer, the amenities absolutely become more important.
Yeah, they do, particularly if I'm paying $25. You bet shit, bitch. I'm leaving my house.
I went to so many $1 movies coming up that even to this day, when I show up to a theater with a cushion and a cup holder, I'm like, luxury? I don't even know if the $1 movie still exists. It don't.
They don't.
First of all, $1 movie in this economy would be like the $10 movie.
You know what? It would be. I miss all those movie theaters closed, but yeah, I missed the $1.
It wouldn't even be the $1 movie. It would
be $5. Yeah,
right.
maybe $5 to $10. Yes.
The popcorn would. Well, the popcorn was still probably stale.
Oh yeah, so. It's gonna be stale. It's gonna be 3 days.
There's no way
it's gonna be 3 days pop.
Ain't no inflation on that popcorn. It's just the popcorn they threw out from the real theater.
Right, and they took it down the street in a big ass garbage bag.
Oh, and Rod, I'm only saying this because I love y'all. That Blackberry Molasses slander is a dangerous game. I can't explain it. Before a person of a certain age, they'll be ready to throw hands over that song. I feel like I'm the person of a certain age. And them
little boys.
I know that song. That song feels like the song you bury Emmett Till to. That doesn't sound like no positive, uplifting song.
Then a teenager would be singing.
That's the Allen Iverson of the somber R&B songs. I grew up in a place that didn't have BET for a while, but they had something called The Box where people called in to vote in songs. That joint was a Box All-Star, if I remember correctly. I didn't realize how big it was until Bobby Valentino went solo and everybody was like, that's the dude from Mr. There's going to be heartache and pain if the wrong person hears that slander. Listen, I'm ready to fight about it. I don't care. I'm going to always speak my truth.
Them poor kids ain't have no business. Everybody else worried about algebra tests, and they be like, I can't take it no more. What's wrong with you?
Alicia says, Rod, you made me go look up the song, and I read the comments, and everybody was like, oh, this song is so uplifting. And then halfway through the video, the group members was driving a van, and the lead singer is Bobby Valentino, creepy as hell.
I don't remember the video. I haven't seen the video probably in forever.
Yeah, I don't even remember the video. The poll was, have you ever been harassed online? Yes or no? 31% yes, 69% no.
Yeah, not major harassment, but yes, I have.
All right.
I have. I remember one time I talked about Childish Gambino, and for some reason, it's something about that dude. Anytime you type Donald Glover or Childish Gambino, anything, I think an album had came out or something he had did, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. And somebody must have had me on they thing. They alert went off, because all of a sudden it was like ding 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 ding. I was was like, where y'all bitches come from? We don't follow each other. Why are you over here? I don't give a fuck that you don't like him.
The wrong person retweet you, it'll be a problem.
Right.
Yeah. But it's funny though, because I've had that happen where the right person just wants to fight, and then just other people get in your mentions, and I cherish the fact that one day I just realized I don't have to give a fuck.
Nope.
Just honest to God, changed my whole life. It seems so simple.
I am cool.
Those of you that's never happened to, congratulations.
Right, you don't
and so you think you understand, you don't. It's like how y'all be like, Cardi B should just get off the internet. You've never had the highs of the Cardi B experience, like roller coaster, so you don't even understand the lows, which is fine. Stay ignorant, stay sweet. Okay, don't do it.
Yeah, stay innocent.
But I just know that for me, I remember being like, really trying to earnestly communicate with people and be like, no, this is what I mean, and them just taking it out of context over and over and being like, wait a minute, I don't know John 79528. Why do I care?
And that's how I've always treated it. I hate to be like that. I'll be like, nigga, who is you? I don't know you. And eject in a motherfucking minute. And maybe because I'm of a certain age, I'm like, bitch, who is you? So I'm like, I'll get with you for what? For who? For why? Wasting my blood pressure? No.
All right, we're almost to the last episode. One more break. Maybe right. All right. The Miss Piggy defense, 3103. 4 comments. Appia says Elon Musk falling out with Trump was something that was going to happen 100%. Two kinds of egos like them can't work together for a longer time. But still, it's good news in my opinion, especially it's only been 5 months or so, even if it feels like eternity. Probably this is how hell is supposed to feel like. Like it was always there and it's never ending. Trump's kink must really just be being sued. It fits with his pretty obvious narcissism. They do get bored very easily. Sean says, I'm the first one who voted yes for physically fighting a coworker, because that was a poll. In my defense, I was a martial arts instructor at the time, so physically fighting coworkers was encouraged. All right. EV says, I'm not 100% sure if Elon is done fucking over the country. Dump recently tweeted that they're still working together, but then again, he's a liar, so who knows what's going on. Whole administration is a big mess.
Right.
DJ says, first had to say I was doubled over laughing over the Elon bit. Got what he deserved. I hope he's forced to sell Teslas now. Yeah, he showed up to the White House with a black eye the other day, and everybody was treating it like the last time he was gonna be at the White House. So I don't know what the fuck happened. That shit is just like some shit that out of Succession.
It's one of them things where I hate to be like, it's like an abusive relationship. Y'all go, oh, y'all beating on each other? Okay.
I have no idea what happened in his eye.
Right.
I'm sure it's not a story I would give a fuck about in any way. Unless some good, hardworking American punched him in the face. Then I would be on their side. DJ says, also, on the 1 hour and 26 second bit, I'm glad SZA's standing up for Meg, too. For the life of me, I can't understand the level of hate by our own over her. But then again, I'm not hyper online like that. I honestly feel like a lot of that is the fool mining. A lot of that is years and years of Tory Lanez and his people paying and influencing bloggers and influencers to get people to attack Megan Thee Stallion.
Right.
That's it. And it's just sad to watch it work, because
it works, and it works every single time.
I literally can't believe these people are this stupid.
But they are.
I just can't. I can't. It's just, or maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe I'm being too nice. They're this malicious. It's just.
Yeah, you're either stupid or malicious. One
it's
of the
sad
two,
to think I live on a planet where somebody would not just go watch a documentary. There's documentaries at this point about the Tory Lanez, Megan Thee Stallion shit. You could just watch the documentary and come away like, oh, he did it. He lost the court case. He did it. What are we doing? Why is that controversial to say? He did it. it was never a point where we needed to think he didn't do it. But even I allowed at the beginning, like, Megan doesn't want to say what happened.
Right.
Maybe some, who knows? But it sound like the kind of, like a nigga might have shot her in the foot. But okay. It just, I don't know. All right. I even have a Skittle Squad female cousin who believes this recent BS that the police are set to release more information that somehow proves the woman was the one who shot her and not Tory, and for whatever illogical reason Meg is lying. One step further in logical thinking and questioning can tell you this simply makes no sense, but some people want to be ignorant. I met a Hertep in the wild at work who very vocally believes the same thing. You could tell she's deep into the black conspiracy internet blogs and news sites repeating the greatest hits, both sides the same, so I don't vote Kamala Crooked. People speaking Spanish using food stamps are illegals and somehow got a card. Kanye was killed and who you see now is a clone, etc. I'm always amazed those people know how to like use forks and spoons. Like, I'm like, how are you existing?
Functioning?
She's at least 6 years older than me and I'm 35, so it's just sad. I try to keep interactions positive by keeping it to whatever's on Crunchyroll, since she also likes anime. Yeah, I'm not gonna front. I just do not talk to people like that.
Me in any form, unless we have to interact. I'm like, nah, dog, I'm good.
I do not talk to people like that unless it's for my own amusement. That's it. I refuse to engage them as serious people that deserve responses. I've met people like that at the basketball court, and I'm just like, no, I don't have to do this. You believe crazy things. Why would that need to be something that I treat real? Go ahead and be crazy.
And treat seriously.
I'm not stopping you. YouTube. Amber Woodhouse says, watching till my ashwagandha gummies kick in. Love y'all deep. Thank you. I hope you had a good trip. Thank you. Z-Mom says, Janet hurt her career again, saying she heard Kamala wasn't black. Yeah, Janet Jackson did do that. That's true. G's Universe says, yep, I love Janet my entire life. I truly wish she had kept her mouth closed about Kamala. She can't unring that bell. Dark Ninja, 2 winky face emojis. Jason says, yeah, Musk and Trump falling out, quote unquote, means nothing at this point. Musk squashed all of his investigations, so he's good. And Trump uses money to get elected, so he's good. With regards to deporting people to countries they aren't from, that honestly just sounds like the slave trade. It was hilarious watching Rod reaching with all his might for a second J-Lo song. Yeah, dog, I was trying. I don't be in her music like that. But also I was kind of high. Waiting for Tonight was the only other one I could come up with on the spot. The most disappointing part of the Secret Service fight was the quality of that fighting. If you tell me 2 Secret Service women are scrapping it out, I'm picturing Chun-Li versus Melina. That wasn't that. Yeah, it wasn't even like that shit from goddamn, I forget, Paradise, where everybody was in the Secret Service and everybody had hands. Like, yeah, this was like a regular ass we got too drunk fight. Alicia says, free Antoine, that man ain't do nothing wrong. Shaking head. And in Miss Piggy's defense, kids are professional a-holes. Yeah, but so is Miss Piggy. I guess they just met their match. The poll, have you ever physically fought a coworker? Yes or no?
Nope.
I have never physically fought a coworker. Okay. Not judging y'all that had to. I just hopefully ain't been in that situation where I needed to.
But hopefully I never will.
But anyway, 12% of y'all have. Now one of these is Sean, so he was sanctioned to fight, which I technically, I mean, it counts, but I don't really count that.
I don't really count that, right?
If it was okay to throw hands, that's not the same as like,
I'm talking about something.
You on my nerves, see you at lunch break.
Right, I'm talking about somebody in an office building or like at the plant or something where we doing shit and all of a sudden a fight break out.
And so it looks like 87% of y'all have not had that experience.
Yeah, good for you.
All right, we got one voicemail and then one email. I'm gonna play music just in case I decide to put another commercial here.
Okay.
So we can get paid. It would be That's called Reminisce. I'm not really sure who that's by. Might be DJ Jaffa. But anyway, here is the only voicemail we got.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Karen. It's Iman. So I was listening to the episode where y'all was talking about Blackberry Molasses, and at the time, I was in Costco, and it really took me back. But it also really killed me.
Oh, wait.
Because
can y'all hear this? Y'all can't hear this, right?
I don't know. Can they hear that?
Can they hear this?
Yeah, because they did something with the sound. Can y'all
Yeah,
hear
yeah,
this?
they can't hear this. Okay, give me a sec. I keep forgetting that whatever this new setting is fucking up y'all's ability to hear.
They said they can hear it.
Oh, they could?
Mm-hmm.
Well, goddamn, I guess being back in Firefox worked. All right, cool. I'll finish playing it. All right, sorry. I tripped.
you said you had looked them up, and some of them now look like they live that lifestyle.
All right, let me reply. I think she started laughing.
At the time, I was in Costco, and it really took me back. But it also really killed me because when you said you had looked them up, and some of them now look like they live that lifestyle. And I was holding on to the kite, and my eyes were tearing up because I was trying not to, like, just bust out laughing. And my daughter, she's like, Mama, are you okay? I was like, oh, yes, baby. Mama's okay. I was like, oh, this is the podcast. She's like, oh, like, what is that? I was like, they're talking about a song Mama used to listen to. It's just like, oh, okay. But I was like, was that Black Emo song? Because like, that song had me in a grip. And I just remember my sister used to drive us to school, and she was in high school, and I'd be in the back seat, and especially if it was raining, because my brother would be in the front seat, because she would drop him off first, and I would be looking out the window and like just following one raindrop and I'd go, Blackberry Molasses. She's like, don't start singing that song. Oh man, it's just like I was like I'm a tragic heroine or something. Like, oh, I was probably singing that song to make myself cry. Okay, that just really took me back. So thank y'all for that, because I was like, oh, I was really, because there was times Don was saying something, I'm like, oh my God, where do you get this from? That's for me. That's for me. Just like tragic Black teenage girl. It's like, oh no. All right, I love y'all. Thank y'all for that. Bye-bye.
That's hilarious. Baby, like, Mama, you okay, Mama?
Right. Oh man, shout out to Iman. It's so funny. I love her voice because it always sounds like she about to start laughing.
Don't it though?
I'm like, oh man, I'm the funniest person on the earth. But yeah, that is funny, man. Because when I was younger, I sang that song a lot too, and it was like I've never listened to the words.
Never paid it any attention.
I don't even know. And honestly, I don't know what made me go listen to the words. Like I was driving to the gym or something, and I was just thinking about that song, because this happens. I don't know how much this happens to other people, but every once in a while I wake up and there's just a song in my head, and it's just I can't get it out, and the only way to get it out is actually to go listen to the song a few times, and then after that my brain will let it go. And it be random songs. Today it's boom, Royce da 5'9". I don't fucking know why. I haven't heard that goddamn song in 10 years. It was a dope song. I used to listen to it all the time, but boom, sometimes it's Breathe by Fabulous. It just be random. And the one day it was Blackberry Molasses last week, and I hit play on that shit and was like, what the fuck are these dudes talking about? What was this song about? Why was I listening to this?
And there's no molasses in it.
It doesn't make any sense. These kids were sad.
And depressed, po babies.
Damn.
We need to go to therapy.
But but thank you, Iman. All right, last is the email. Professor Caretha writes in, just sharing. Dear Rod and Karen, it's fine if you don't read this on the show. What, girl? Come on. I know Brandon will be on in a couple of weeks, so it may be more relevant than anyway. Whether relevant then or not, I just wanted to share a few stories and pictures with you too. I got to see Brandon's Drunk Black History in Boston, May 23rd. Yeah, hey. Brandon texted me after that show to be like, dude, y'all's audience, they always come through. They always support us. You know, everywhere we go, it doesn't matter what city we're in. There's some
Good
Black
to
Out Tips
hear.
fans in there that are coming out to support Drunk Black History. And I honestly, it makes my heart sing every single time.
Me too.
Because I love what Brandon's doing. I love the fun of Drunk Black History.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching him, like, you know, reach for and accomplish his dreams. Like,
Same.
it's really dope seeing him,
Rooting
like,
for him.
with the screenwriting stuff.
Yes.
And just, I honestly just feel like Brandon's a genuinely good dude.
Same.
And I will always try to support people like that because I there just doesn't seem to be a lot of those people. And so anytime we have crossover, we invite someone on the show and people end up being fans of them, it always makes me feel good because I'm like, good, my feelings were right about this person. Anyway, I had attended online during the pandemic, so I knew I'd enjoy it, but it was even more fun than I thought. Besides the Black History stories and interviews, there was a standard comedy set by a woman I've never heard of, but she was good. Her name was Tukey Kavanaugh. I could tell she went over her time, though, because she had a lot to do a lot to get her off stage. Well, maybe she was too drunk because they were being too discreet at first and she wasn't picking up on it. It was also another full circle moment related to our move to Massachusetts. Orlando Baxter, the first storyteller Brandon brought on, was kind of my partner student when Orlando was in high school and Craig had just graduated from college.
Aww.
After a couple years on the job, Craig thought he could do more to help kids like Orlando by being in school with them, not just an after school program. So he went to grad school, got a master's of counselor's education, and was a school counselor for 25 years.
Come on, masters.
When we moved here, it was so he could become an administrator at a school in the same city where he mentored Orlando all those years ago. We got to attend Orlando's wedding in person last year. After the show, Orlando reminded me that he and another student from that after school program were at our wedding more than 20 years ago.
Wow.
I've attached a couple pictures. Another small world funny thing. I met the woman who's shaking her finger at Brandon for the first time in person at the show, but we've been connected online for more than a decade. She once interviewed me for the Boston PBS section. Just an overall good time. If you guys want to see the pictures, I'll put them up.
Oh, adorable.
Give me 1 second to how do I get?
Child, she be living her best life.
Yeah. What
Everywhere.
What am I doing wrong?
Oh, educated.
See, share screen. Okay. Select a screen or window.
Just have to pick whichever one it is in.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I don't know why it's acting weird. Itinerary. Nope, that's not what I want to do. Okay. Oh, okay. So now. So I had to switch my browser, y'all. So I guess for some reason it'll just show what's on my screen. Is it showing my email now?
It is.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, that's Brandon, Professor Coretha. Brandon on stage. Is that Michael Che? Who
That's what it looks like.
I don't know. Michael Che from Boston? I thought he was. Anyway. That's the woman that's wagging her finger at him. Yeah, man, that's dope, man. That's beautiful. I love to see it. Honestly, like I said, makes me feel good to know y'all out there supporting good work. And Brandon's one of the most like professional, courteous, appreciative people that we've ever worked with. So I totally think people should be supporting his work. So shout out to y'all. All right, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Throughout the week. We actually have a lot of guests coming up this week. I think we have Mimi Cherry tomorrow. I think that's it, like noon or something. And then I think on let me look at my schedule. On the 4th, we have Dr. Tia Paul, who is a dermatologist. And we're going to talk to her about skin and skincare routines and being black and brown. And then on the 8th, next Sunday, we have Rachel Laria, who is, she wrote a book about black capitalism. We're going to talk to her about that. And Brandon Collins on the 10th. So, pretty full schedule for the next couple of weeks. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Until then, I love you.
I love you too.
Mwah. Bye.